And when it comes to business, you got to take care of yourself, man. You have to. You have to take care of yourself. Like I remember doing comedy business with people in the past, and I remember one situation where a person wanted to publish a book with me, but didn't want to do a contract. I said, "Oh no," because what if your book takes off and your name's on it, my name's on it? How am I going to get my residual check? How do I get paid? Oh, Leon, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's what we call bad business. Then person was like, "Man, I want to do some big shows with you." So I said, "Man, the Bible talks about being faithful over small shows. Then you could get some bigger shows." I booked some shows. Next thing I know, person calls me, "Man, I can't even make it." Well, what came up? "Man, I gotta go pick up a baseball card." Then got word he shut down the website. We supposed to be business partner. Why are you shutting down the website without telling me? Went, got your own business cards. And that's when I started realizing something. I said, "Man, did this person just link up with me so they can basically use me as a ladder to just keep climbing?" Because people will do that. They'll see your success and say, "Well, let me just drain his resources." Not here. Life is chess, not checkers. Then the one that really got to me, this one was the one that got under my skin. Not the jealousy of not being able to tour with me and all that stuff, because there was some jealousy going on. Because I noticed one thing about wealthy people: if it benefits them, they'll put money up. But if it benefits someone else, they not moving. They'll get quiet. The one thing that really got under my skin was the 1065. We have to file taxes or we go to prison. So by the grace of God, I noticed something when it came time to file taxes and everybody was dragging their feet. The Lord revealed to me, he said, you guys never used the EIN number. I said, "What?" God showed that to me. He said, if you use the EIN number, that means you're registered to file taxes, but you actually did all those comedy shows as an independent artist. So go file taxes on that like you've been doing the last 10 years. I said, "Wow." And that's when the Lord revealed to me he had kept me safe. Because see, God knows the beginning to the end to the beginning. So he saw my heart and saw that I was just trying to help people. But the problem with helping people, sometimes you get burned. Whether the person is doing it intentionally or it's an accident or whatever, it's still uncomfortable because it's not what you signed up for. Because I was working by myself for the last decade. I was just trying to be a Christian and help out and extend my hand and say, "Oh man, I could teach you how to do comedy, write jokes, blah, blah, blah." And it's just like, the office never got furnished. It was just like a whole bunch of dragging the feet, right? And then Matthew chapter 4, verses 1 through 11, Jesus was tempted by the devil. And so the three temptations still came to me. The first one was, "Oh, eat this Subway sandwich, turn the stone into bread." That was the first temptation that came my way from the individual. Then the second one was, "Oh, let's go all the way up to the 56th floor, look out the window, jump down, angels will catch you." Right? That was the second temptation. And then the third was, "Bow down to me. I'll give you the office space in the kingdoms," right? Because I have wealth. And that's the third temptation. So everything that the devil presented to Jesus was presented to me by the individual. And that bothered me, man. And so I said to myself, bro, like, people gotta be careful, bro. When you work with people, bro, there's spirits on people. And like, you don't know a person's past. You don't know if they've been locked up, if they've been in and out of psych wards, if they've been in and out of prison. You don't know what's going on with people's mental state. But the reality check is, one thing I've learned is that you gotta take care of yourself, protect yourself. Another situation that happened was there was checks in my name, and I went to the bank one time and it was an overdraft. And when I realized, I said, why is the joint account, the business account in overdraft? So I reached out to the individual. He's all apologetic. Oh, it was a mistake. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I made a mistake. I thought we had this amount. See, you don't just think that you have an amount. You need to go and make sure that before you spend anything that you call the bank and check the balance. So it was just a lot of different things, bro. Like, yeah, people try to get quiet now when you call them or text because they're in their feelings. But when you really think about it, bro, I didn't do anything wrong. I was always an upright, stand-up guy. The problem is when I let people come in to my business of comedy and then they we don't have the same heart for it, right? He don't want to practice, but I want to practice for hours. And the reason why I demanded practice at a high level like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, because I wanted him to perform at a high level just like me. What good is it for him to skip practice? I practice, he bombs, I kill, but he gets the same amount of money. Like if there was a $5,000 show, he would still walk away with $2,500. And then he's looking at me, wanting me to stroke his ego. Oh, was I good? Was I good? Of course it was decent because I wrote half of the jokes. So it's just like stuff like that just really bothered me, man. But by the grace of God, everything is shut down now. That chapter of my life is closed. I'll never, ever, I'm 42 years old. I will never go in business with someone ever again. That partnership stuff, no, that's for the birds. Now, collaboration, if you call me and you hire me and I go in, tell some jokes, you pay me under contract and I go back home, that's fine. I'll do that with anybody for the rest of my days. But I will never, ever, under the sun, God's my living witness, go into a business partnership with anyone ever again. Let's work.